Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, he went from client relations at a sports agency to now helping people in DFW realize the American dream of home ownership. His pivot just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team. And the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, as you just saw, I know a little something about pivots myself. At the ripe old age of 45, I walked away from a very successful news career to start this public relations and podcasting company. And Adam Carriker, you are my new hero because you walked away from a really creative and I think glamorous job in client relations at a sports agency to now being very successful in real estate. Thanks for coming on the show.
Jeff, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Okay, I want to tell us a war story. Tell us a story of being at a sports agency.
Well, Jeff, no 2 days are the same when you're working with professional athletes. It's constantly moving, new places, new scenarios. Had a client who was a little concerned one time whether or not they were going to pass a drug test that they were faced with. I knew I was going to pass any drug test anybody gave me, so I stepped in. No job is too small or too big or too small for me when it comes to helping my clients. So.
Well, and what I love about that is, much like a reporter, you have to be scrappy. And if this sports star comes up with this wish list, you got to figure out a way to make it happen.
That's right. The hottest ticket in town for concerts, or the most busy restaurant with no reservations left. I mean, there was no task that I wasn't expected to at least attempt for our athlete clients.
Sure, and as I said, that's a very glamorous lifestyle. It's easy to get sucked in and have that define you for the rest of your life. So was there a pivot there where you said, this is not for me anymore?
So I know the exact moment. I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone, and I was getting ready to go to the airport. And a friend could tell that I wasn't interested in the trip and that I'd rather be doing something else. And they said, well, where are you going? What's so bad about it? I was like, I'm going to the Super Bowl again. And they were like, man, that's everybody's dream job. You're getting paid for that. You're going to the Super Bowl. And I was like, yeah, but this is like the 10th Super Bowl in a row, and I want to take it easy this week. And so anyway, that's when I knew that it was time to make a change. I'd been doing it too long and maybe was getting burned out. So I'd always been passionate about real estate, had my real estate license to help our athlete clients figure out where they were going to live during the season, during the off season. And it made sense. So I thought if I can hustle at real estate the way I have helping these athlete clients, then I may be onto something. So that's kind of when the change happened.
And shout out to Blake Fowler. You're with the Fowler Real Estate Group, and we're going to show just some of your recent listings. And what impressed me most about this, Adam, is the variety that's out there. You were telling me just before the show that you can go from a home to a ranch. I mean, it's everything in between. There is, and it doesn't matter, who you are or what your budget is. You should have a professional on your side helping you navigate the real estate process. Because I can guarantee you that the person on the other side of the transaction has a professional working for them. I leased a $900 a month studio efficiency over the weekend, and I have a call tomorrow for a listing of mine that's a 300-acre ranch for $12.5 million. So, and I've done everything in between. No property is too small or too big in some cases to help Sure. I have this theory that everybody is wearing the same T-shirt. It says "Make me feel special." And working with celebrity athletes, and those are in big bold letters. But even the average customer that you work with, they want to feel validated. They want to be listened to. I think part of your job is probably being a therapist.
Yeah, everybody has the same questions, regardless of whether they're spending, a few $100s a month or millions of dollars on a large purchase. They want to know what their options are. They want to know what their rights are. They want to know, how to get the most for their money and be treated fairly. So that's something that I can help them do as well.
Absolutely. We got a couple of pictures, and I want to put this on the screen. Just have you narrate. What are we looking at here?
So this was a closing for a friend of mine. He had purchased his very first condo. We bought that in 2019. And he sold that property actually just a few months ago, back in December. He sold it for a 47% profit. So he lived there for a few years. It was his bachelor pad, and now he's engaged, and he and his fiance are looking for the next,
Outstanding.
for next place. This, part of my job is to interact with people. This is me at an open house that I did a few years ago with a coworker of mine. If we take on a property of yours, we're gonna market that regardless of what the property is. It's gonna be on social media. It's gonna be on the internet. It's gonna be on MLS. Anything creative that we can think of to help you sell your property is not off the table.
Well, I know late last year, as mortgage rates were going crazy, it caused a lot of people to push pause. I think the situation is getting a little bit more predictable for prospective buyers.
Yeah, especially once we get into the second quarter of 2023, I think you're going to see the market take its form of what it's going to be for the rest of the year. There is some volatility right now, certainly with mortgage rates. Those aren't going to go down anytime soon. You're not going to see the 2s and the 3s like we saw, 2.5, 3 years ago. But on the inverse of that is that home prices are going to go down a little bit. So it's almost like it's a trade-off, but you're going to have the same value for your property that you were able to get with the lower interest rates. So you'll see that we may be shifting to a buyer's market now, which we haven't seen that for a couple of years, and I know a lot of people are excited about that. So really, it's an exciting time for real estate.
Sure. And I know when we talk about real estate in general, there's a difference between real estate in Detroit, Michigan, and real estate in Dallas, Texas. Even one of our recessions is not a horrible recession. It's just kind of we're diversified. People are moving here all the time.
Yeah, if you're going to have a recession, Texas is definitely a great place to be. I like to think of, looking at the real estate market here locally, not watching the national news, not seeing what they're doing in the larger cities. Texas is insulated from that a little bit, where we've got favorable market conditions for the economy, for the weather, everything that goes into deciding where you're going to live. Texas is a good place to be.
And I frankly think this is kind of a healthy correction. You remember a couple of years ago, you could put a listing up, you would sell it the same day above the asking price, all cash.
You'd have 30 offers before the dirt settled around the stake in your sign you put in somebody's yard. And I mean, that was the Wild West, and I don't think anybody knew which way was up, and it was ride this wave until it stops. It may have stopped towards the second half of last year, but prices are still slightly higher than they were. There's some favorable conditions. It's never a bad time to buy real estate. You look at the stock market; it's up and down. You don't know what to do. Not a bad idea to put some of your money into real estate and let it grow, let it appreciate. If you decide that you want to sell, you're always going to be in a better position than when you bought the property.
And I think there is something healthy about the realtors who really weren't in it. They get washed out. If you're not a scrapper, if you're not a hustler, if you're not a guy like you, a fixer who can make stuff happen, you don't last long in the real estate industry.
No, you're right about that. Being in sports and when working for a sports agency, I can't tell you how many career days that I went to for high school kids and everybody wanted to be sports agents. Nobody's calling wanting to be real estate agents, but maybe one of these days, I'll get invited back to career day. I think that real estate is not a bad business to be in. If I had to go back and advise myself, 20 years ago, real estate would have been as much fun I had working in sports. Real estate has been a much more fulfilling career path.
Okay, we're almost out of time. So final thoughts, what would you like to leave people with?
Again, like I said, no matter what you're looking to do, if you're looking to buy, sell, lease, or invest in real estate, always have a professional working for you to answer your questions, give you advice, tell you what things are worth. You can't put a price tag on an experienced professional.
Outstanding. We're going to end with your website, which is fowlerrealestategroup.com. The great Adam Carriker. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, Jeff.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.